Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on closing day. It is Sunday, the 9th of July, 2023. It's closing day from Belmont. I'm going to look at the third race. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also join me next week for my Saratoga opening day preview and throughout the Saratoga meetings for my previews, full card selections for the some of the days, for most days, I hope. But it's going to be a good Saratoga meeting. They already carded the first two. The final entries are out for the Thursday and Friday card, and those races look very salty, especially Friday's card. That's really nice, a nice card. Can't wait to tackle that. But with that being said, but before we go there, we have Belmont closing day, and it's kind of going to be a bittersweet closing day from Belmont. The way it looks like it's going, this could be the final closing day ever at Belmont in July until they build the new grandstand. Because if you're reading the articles, it looks like after next year's Belmont, they're going to go straight to Aqueduct for about a month, and then to Saratoga. And so basically, this might be the final closing day for Belmont in July until July of 2026, so another 3 years or so. And today's going to be the final day of Belmont, most likely being a 3-track surface. Come next spring, we're going to have that Tapeta track finally finished, which is going to be quite amazing. I was actually at Belmont today, and I noticed they got rid of the west or the east pond. I guess it was the east pond, and they're getting rid of all the little islands there, and it looked like that gazebo they had with the Belmont Stakes, winning connections. Silks, that gazebo might be gone by the end of the weekend, the way they're demolishing everything on that infield. But it's kind of bittersweet, and also the inner turf course gets redone after today, so that's going to get ripped up too. So it's kind of, things are changing in New York, and you never know, it could be also the final Belmont with the old grandstand. There was some, in one of the articles I read, there could be a scenario where they demolish half the grandstand and keep the other half up for next year, and then completely demolished. So you never know. We're in an exciting time with Belmont. But before I go into, before I keep going on rants, let's look at the third race from Belmont. It's on the inner turf course, and it's a good one. It's a lounge race, purse $95,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, never won. $18,000. A main claim starter or state bred allowance racer, which never won 2 races here. We have a field of 7 horses entered, but the 6 and 7 are MTOs. So a field of 6, including a part of an entry, will go the distance of ground of 1,700 meters or a mile and 1/16 on the Belmont inner turf course. My top selection, I'm going to take the 2-horse Idea Generation, 2-3-5-4 for me in the superfecta. 2-3-5-4 super. Top selection 2-horse Idea Generation. This 3-year-old filly by DeBowie here. Chad Brown trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse hasn't been seen since the 5th of November. That came at Aqueduct. About a mile 16th inner turf course in main special 85,000. She won by 1 3/4 lengths, and she had the dream trip that day. She basically stalked all the way around the race course. When she got to the front end, she quickened up, and she went away with it. An all-around easy race. Coming here to the 3-year-old campaign, not the world's toughest spot. Speed favoring course where you need to be drawn low, which she is. She's in a better spot to finally make the jump up to make it 2 victories in a row. Also, first time Lasix today. 2 back she ran on the 1st September at Saratoga, mile 16th, good inner turf course in the PG Johnson. She finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths that day, and she sat back early, a little bit wide. She was gaining late, but she still needs something. I thought it was an okay effort. And then the race before was that non-betting event that they had because the starting gate was stuck on the turf course. That came at Saratoga, 24th of July, mile 16th in the main special weight. She finished 2nd by a nose that day. She got out of the gate okay. She kind of stalked all the way around the race course, but then, when they, pulled up the horses around the 3/8 pole, what can you do? She just couldn't finish the race there. But she's been training well at Saratoga. I think this is a good spot for her to win. I'll use her here. A horse for the multi-race would be a 3-horse Chili Flag for Ira Ortiz Jr. and Chad Brown again. The Chad Brown exacta here. But most recently, first start here in New York on the 26th of May, about a mile 16th inner turf course and a lounge race. The horse finished 3rd by 4 lengths that day, and she was just a little lackadaisical. She might have needed the run for a star in New York. Prior to that goal from 7.5 and off 62, she finished 2nd by 1.5 lengths that day. She was stupidly wide, but she was gaining late. Nothing bad about that race. Prior to that, in France, she was running on the, shall I say, B or C tier. She went up to the A tier in the pre-coronation, where she just couldn't keep up with those slightly better horses. But on the lower tier ranks in in France. She was running these decent races. Coming here today, she could definitely win. She's training well. I'll give her a shot on her ticket. She's definitely, her buyers are up to scratch here. But to recount my selection for the third here from Belmont, gonna take the 2-horse Idea Generation. Give kudos to the 3-horse Chili Flag, 2, 3, 5, 4 Super, 2, 3 in your multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.